Hey, pass me a beer.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, and it seems better. Turn your phone sideways.
Look, at least promise me you won't drink. Alcohol always leads to trouble.
We should require all guests to wear a fake beard if they don't have a beard.
Hey, who wants to play Drink the Beer?
Right here.
You win.
All right, what do I win?
Another beer.
Eric is way too clean shaven to be on the Beerded Hops podcast.
Just have a cup of coffee.
There it is.
Coffee?
Beer.
I'd kill for a beer.
Cheap beer and a sympathetic ear. Step right up.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining us on the Bearded Hops podcast. And of course, I am your host, Adam. And not from the not very cold at all remote location, Chad.
Yeah, broadcasting from semi-warm Sebring, Florida tonight. I have left the frozen tundra of Green Bay to do a little bit of work travel, and got
to pay the bills.
Got to pay the bills,
yeah.
And I'm in Sebring, Florida, right down by the Everglades, so it's warm. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt.
I mean, I'm not wearing pants, but it has nothing to do with the warmth.
I wasn't going to say anything, but neither am I.
So we did have some technical difficulties with the Wi-Fi at Chad's Motel 6. So
hey now.
So he's using his cell phone. So that's why may sound a little off. So
yeah, I'm sorry to the 4 or 5 listeners out there.
And yeah, and if you guys want to donate to his data plan that he's probably going to go over, throw a few bucks our way. So
yeah.
So now this also is a first for our show, having another person on, and so today we also have Eric, who is on the Sessions podcast with us. Hi, Eric.
Hello, everyone.
Now we do realize Eric is lacking a beard. We understand that. Now, Eric, is this for you can't grow one, or?
Yeah, it's a lack of being able to grow one for sure.
All right. Well, next time a Santa Claus beard is required.
All right, I'm in.
should we buy a Santa Claus beard and like ship it to people? The thing's gonna get disgusting. That would be hilarious, though.
I mean, see how much money you get for the data fund.
Right. Anything with that data fund will go to the Santa Claus beard.
Yeah, see, he's thinking. We're on the right track here.
It actually wouldn't even have to be. It could be a pirate beard too. I mean, it doesn't have to just be a beard.
Right, facial hair.
Then we could get the puffy shirt from Seinfeld.
Yeah, there we go.
Just go all out pirate.
All out pirate. I do have a pirate episode. When is National Pirate Day? Anybody got a computer to look that up? So if you have new to the show, you haven't listened before, basically how we do this, we are going to crack a beer. We're going to sniff it and taste it and do all that fun stuff. And we're going to ultimately rate it when we take our first sip. Then we're going to go on and talk about stuff and things. And then we're going to get halfway through. Once we're halfway through, we're going to stop talking about stuff and things. We're going to sniff, taste, and all that crap again and say good, bad, ugly, getting better, getting worse. Then we're going to go on to the second half of the beer. And once we get to the bottom of that, we're going to shed a few tears, but not too many because we're just going to get a second beer. And we're going to finally rate it at the end and put it on Untapped. Is everybody good with the rules of the show? I feel like I'm like stating the rules of the game or something on here. I don't know.
I think I missed point number 2. Can you start over?
Nope, I cannot. Who wants to tell them what beer we have today?
I believe that's a HopSlam ale.
for those not watching, Chad, you wanna
oh yeah
use the words? It is a podcast.
I can speak up. We are doing the recently released limited release. Well, I should say limited. It's seasonal. Bell's HopSlam Ale. This is a double IPA brewed with honey.
Honey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're doing the Bell's HopSlam Ale. Now, Eric, have you had this before? I mean, not previous years.
Yeah, I've had the past 2 years, actually.
Past 2 years. Nice. So I haven't had, this will be the first time for me. So you'll be able to tell us a comparison, what you think of it from previous years. Now, so what you had at 16 and 17?
Correct.
So did it change over those 2 years at all?
Oh, absolutely. Last year was much sweeter and not so much upfront on the hops that you would think would be within the beer, given the name.
Yeah, with a double IPA.
Right.
Yeah. So first, looking at the can, I mean, I actually might get one of these T-shirts because they do sell T-shirts with this HopSlam logo, I guess you call it, on it, with a dude buried in the hops. I like that.
Yeah, the graphic is awesome.
The graphic is really cool. And really, it's just the same graphic on two sides, and then the back is all the governmental, hey, you shouldn't be drinking this if you're pregnant. Anybody pregnant here? Chad, you good?
I got to leave this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a 10% ABV. Glorious. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So I think multiple are definitely called for in this case. And then what are the IBUs? It's not on the can. Anybody?
It's not on their website either. So the only place, I mean, Untapped or
well, you go ahead. We'll let you go and look that up, sir. One thing I will say on the can, which is nice to see, they do have the independent.
That's awesome.
They have the independent logo there, and I don't know if you saw either of you, but I did actually tweet the association that does that independent craft brewery. Is that what they're called? Whatever. They had tweeted the other day that something like 43, I could be way off in these numbers, but 43% of Pennsylvania, I think it was, breweries had gotten this seal. And so I tweeted and asked them, I said, hey, does it cost? Because I'm in my head, I'm thinking, well, why haven't the rest of them? You know, like there's got to be. And they said, nope, doesn't cost anything. You just have to sign basically this agreement with them and let them know your barrels. And so that if you're in or not, and then you get to use it. So anyway, don't know why we went on that, but we did.
Well, while you were rambling on about whatever you were rambling on about, Bell's HopSlam Ale for 2018 is a 70 IBU. So it's going to be up there in the hoppy bitterness scale.
Now, are you able to pull up last year's? See if it changed at all?
I did look at it.
I think each year they are. It's the same. Okay, each year they are around 10%. I think from what I've seen.
They're usually up there.
Yeah.
All of the Hop Slams except for the War Pigs edition are 10%. War Pigs was 8.99. No longer in production, but every Hop Slam back to 2006 is 10% and 70 IBUs.
Nice. Now it also says on here on the back that upside down. There we go. So right there by where it says 10% alcohol, it also says shelf life of 3 months. And I had watched some of the videos on the Bell's YouTube page, and they had actually said one of the questions was, can you cellar this? And they're like, yeah, you can. But you're not going to, the hoppiness, like the hop forwardness of it is going to be,
it's not going to work.
Gone. So
I don't agree with anybody that says you can cellar an IPA.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I wouldn't.
Well, I wouldn't, because for what we intend IPAs to be, but originally that's how IPAs were. That's why IPAs were made, was for the British to be able to send to their troops in India. They hopped the hell out of them for preservative purposes. By the time they got there, we were able to drink them. They weren't hoppy at all.
Well, but they were drinking them just because it was beer. By the time they got it, they had no idea what it was originally.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So when the original intent of it, like what we're drinking it for, yeah, you don't want to because you're not gonna enjoy that. And I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna pour. So.
Well, I want to say one thing about this can.
Can I pour while you talk about the can?
If you don't make a lot of noise.
Did that make a lot of noise?
That was loud.
Oh, damn it.
So I really like what they say on the bottom of the can, under the double India Pale Ale brewed with honey. It says an exceptionally aromatic blend of hops combined in this balanced interpretation. My favorite word is interpretation on this can, because that's something I actually kind of want to talk about tonight if we have some time, is interpretation of beer. So this is Bell's.
We're gonna get deep, aren't we?
Brewmaster's interpretation of an IPA brewed with honey. So a double IPA brewed with honey. So I think that's really cool. They put that on the can.
I will tell you right now, after pouring it, and here's my glass. It smells delicious.
Are you using the dildo glass?
No,
Not tonight.
because on Bell's website, it said they suggested a snifter.
I know. Bell's website is interesting because most of their beers don't match up to the glass that's typically
Yeah, it was typically said to be
used for the beer.
required. Yeah, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind that at all. I actually would like that. Do
I've
you,
got a
Bells?
nice-
Do you?
I've got a nice, very full pour in my very small hotel beer
Hotel
glass.
glass. Is that from your beer last night, or did you pick a new one up on the way up?
Nope, that's from my Guinness last night.
Yeah.
And I've got quite a bit of head on mine. And here's that logo for you, Adam.
Bite me.
Oh,
Bite me with your Red Wings. Oh man, yeah, I
awesome.
did have quite a bit. Mine is now dissipated somewhat, but the smell, man. What do you think? I mean, I just pouring it. The smell was great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I know, right? It is really nice.
Yeah, I had to side pour because the glass is small, so I didn't get much of a head. I'm probably not getting as much aroma as you guys are. It's still there. I mean, it's citrusy, hoppy. I can smell a little bit of honey, but it's not. I can't, like, if I were to smell this without knowing it was brewed with honey, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't think that it was brewed with honey.
No, but it does have a sweet scent to it.
Yeah, it does.
Now, anywhere do they tell you what hops they use? I don't think Bell's tells it because it doesn't say on the can anywhere.
I think they had it on their website.
Did they? Because I didn't see.
Simcoe.
All right, that's it. Just Simcoe, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that smells
Yep.
so good.
So their description is starting with 6 different hop varietals with the addition of Simcoe. So there's 6 different ones.
Yeah, so there's more than just Simcoe in
Yeah,
there.
so they don't spell out what the others. I mean, they're probably the common ones, but added to the brew kettle, culminating in a massive dry hop addition of Simcoe hops. The most complex hopping schedule in the Bell's repertoire.
Most complex, huh?
Well,
isn't that interesting?
That does not taste like a 70 IBU IPA.
You already took a sip?
He's
excited.
I haven't yet. I'm going.
I
Eric, did you drink it?
I didn't have any head to deal with, so
There goes Eric.
Oh, that's nice.
Damn, that's like, I don't, if I had to guess, not knowing, if I didn't know this was a 70 IBU, I would have guessed this was probably closer to 50.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
This is, I mean, for a 70 IBU beer, this is very, very drinkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I don't know if it's because of the honey that's making it that way or what it is. But I like it.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
So when my wife and I, we went to the craft beer store in Libertyville to get these. They had like a little HopSlam party. And so we went there and they had some on draft. So we got to, I got a little shot of it. But my wife, who does not like IPAs, she liked this. And she's actually already drinking 1 out of the 6 while it's been in the beer fridge. So
she beat you to it.
Well, I've been resisting because she's like, oh, this is so good. I can't believe you haven't had one. I'm like, oh, it's for the podcast, man. It's for the show.
I'm really glad that my beer made the trip. I mean,
yeah, he had it all packed up to go on the plane.
Yeah, so I did not put it in my. Of course, you can't take it on carry-on because of the size. So I put it in a small Ziploc bag. Then I wrapped that small Ziploc bag in bubble wrap. Then I taped it, and then I put it a gallon Ziploc bag. Or I put it in a gallon Ziploc bag, and then a second gallon Ziploc bag, and then taped it all up again. Now, I mean, I've taken beer with me before, but because this was for it was triple bagged, because this was for our podcast, I wanted to make damn sure that this was going to make it unscathed, and it was beautiful. I did get a TSA check because
a little sticker in your bag.
Yep. Yep, and I'm glad that the HopSlam was still in my bag.
Right, they didn't take it. Damn, I've been wanting this. I want to take this right out.
I know,
here.
right?
He won't know.
So yeah, my one can of HopSlam made the trip from Green Bay to Tampa.
That's awesome.
Unscathed, and it's delicious. This is good.
All right, so let's go around the horn since since there's three of us, we normally only have the two of us, and we just interrupt each other back and forth. We'll start with the guest, Eric. What are your thoughts? What are you tasting? How are you feeling? First impressions, and also by the done of your spiel. Right now, what would you rate it on Untapped?
I think right now I'm probably going to go a 3.5 off the bat because I'm sure it'll warm up to me and it'll get better. It's got really good hop character in it. It's got a bit of sweet on the back end for me, which makes it go down so much easier. And compared to last year, like I said, I thought last year was very sweet. And for a double IPA, I want the upfront hops, and I get that this year. I think this is really, really good.
So with compare, so go ahead and compare it to last year. What would you say sticks out right away to you comparatively from having last year? Since I didn't.
Definitely the hop character. You got more honey last year, and it was sweet all around. This has you taste a double IPA in here. So to me, this is what a double IPA should be. And then with the honey in it, you get that sweet aftertaste, and it's really good.
It's really good. Cadillac.
I'm actually going to rate this one higher. To start off with, and Eric, I'm going to be at a 4.25 on this.
Wow.
I'm not an IPA guy.
Not at all.
But I think whatever they've done with the malts and the addition of the honey to balance the hops, this is really, really good. I mean, there aren't many IPAs that right off the bat I would say I like as much as this. I mean, I enjoyed the Two-Hearted that we did a few weeks ago. My standard for IPAs has been Green 19 from Titletown. That's just a good all day IPA. Well, essentially, it's a little higher in ABV than a session beer, but I'm serious. This is going to be. I mean, it's not a 5, but it's really good. The malt,
it's also a double IPA.
Yeah.
So like for you, somebody who's not really a big IPA fan, to take a double and like it that much.
I think whatever blend they've done with the malts with the addition of the honey has made this a very, very enjoyable, easy drinking double IPA. 4.25 to start.
4.25. Look at you.
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, I am definitely when you first sip it, the first thing, of course, that hits you is the hops, like boom, But it's not a bitter make the sides of your mouth tingle hit. You know what I mean? It's good. It's a refreshing, and then as it washes over the tongue, that you definitely hit the citrusy stuff. And then as you swallow it, you get the citrus, and then you get the pine, but like both of you said, it's got to. I mean, the only thing I can think of, it's got to be the honey that gives it just. At first, when I drink it, I don't think of it as balanced, but then after I drink it and get the kind of the after and the back end, it becomes really balanced, and it's really easy to. It's easy to drink. I mean, the head is gone. You can see a little bit residual on the cup. It's. The color is really awesome. It's not translucent. You can't see through it completely, but it's not also one of those unfiltered or anything like that. It's
Well, yeah, I would call it a very clear but opaque beer. It's not. It's certainly not translucent. But if I look at the glass, I can see my fingers through the glass, but not like I can't see the creases in my fingers. So it's got a beautiful color.
It's really good.
Kind of golden brown.
It's got a honey-like color.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's definitely the honey-like color. Yeah. I mean, I'm at a 4. That's where I'm sitting. I like it. I like it a lot.
That's really kind of interesting. The non-IPA guy gives this beer the highest rating out of the three of us.
Well, you think it's because you came into it thinking this is an IPA and it's just I'm not gonna like this, but then you taste it and you're surprised.
I am surprised, and we talked about this before about your surroundings and where
Right.
how that affects the rating of your beer. So, I'm sitting at a hotel in Florida. My surroundings are, a couch and a bed and a desk. Now, I did have a few beers before this that I think just basically whetted my appetite for an IPA. And I really feel like I could give this at least to start a 4.25 on any given day, though. It's really good.
It is good. Yeah.
I'm impressed, Bells.
Definitely. So let's move on to Eric, you had 3.75, right?
I'll go with 3.75. Yeah.
Is that what you said, or am I wrong?
I said 3.5, but now I kind of want to change
you
it.
said 3.5. No pressure. So Eric with the 3.75, me with a 4, and then Chad 4.25. So that's how we're beginning. Now we're going to keep drinking this, and I don't know, are we already to the halfway point? So we're just drinking it too quickly. I don't know, but let's move on quickly before we drink it too quickly. Eric, have any? What did you have this week as far as your beers, and anything that was nasty or anything that was like really good this week?
I was pretty stout heavy this week.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 'tis the season, right? Especially in the Midwest when it's cold.
Right.
But I had a GFY stout from a place called Spiteful here in Chicago. GFY being good for you.
Nice.
And it was really good. It was a very easy, drinkable stout. Then I gave a 3.5. I mean, it's definitely something I wouldn't mind going back to. It was easy to go down. It wasn't too much.
Was this a new one for you, or is it one you had before?
No, completely new.
New one? Nice.
And then last night I had the luxurious find of KBS at a local beer store.
Okay, let's pause right here. Let's tell me that story. So
no, don't pause. Just skip over this because we haven't had it.
But this is last year's KBS.
Yeah.
And it was just one bottle sitting on the shelf?
No, they had multiple. I've stumbled upon this website called beermenus.com.
Yep, I've used it before, and it's hardly ever worked for me, but
it worked like a gold mine this time for me.
All right, hang on. I'll go to beer menu right now.
But I walked in, they had at least 10 bottles of it, of the 12-ounce bottles, and they even had 6 of the 700 milliliter bombers. So I just picked up 2 of the 12-ounce, and I couldn't not crack one open last night.
Yeah, no, you had to do that. Absolutely.
So 10 months after it got bottled, and it's drinking real good.
Man, I'm so jealous. So jealous.
So what else? What does he have this week? So was the KBS the highlight?
Honestly, I'm going to say, while it was up there, I'm going to say this beer called XO1 out of Dovetail Brewery was probably the highlight. It is a beer that I've never had, a style of beer that I've never had before. It's a Roush Flanders. So it's a mix between this smoky red ale and a kind of a sour. And you wouldn't think off the bat that would taste really good, but the smokiness actually balances out the sour in the beer, and it was really, really, really good.
What brewery was that?
Dovetail.
Is that Chicago? Or is that
it's Chicago. I've actually one of my good friends is now one of the brewers there, and I've now made it my local watering hole because it's down the street from me, and they do really, really good,
nice,
classic European beers.
That's awesome. That sounds good. Anything else? Did you have to pour anything out? Was there anything disgusting that you had this week, or?
What I didn't really care for was a beer called Cosmo by Noon Whistle. It's a pale ale by theirs. I love their New England style IPAs. I think they do those really well. This was just a miss for me. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't something I would probably go back to.
Yummy, yummy. But you didn't. You drank it though. You finished it.
Oh, absolutely.
Ed, what'd you have this week, dude?
Well, it's not just a week. So how far back do you want me to go? The last time I reported?
Oh, that's right, because you weren't with us on last week's show.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how many is this going to be? Is this going to take the entire show to talk about your list?
Well, I don't think I can run. I can run through them really quick, but I do have 24.
God, you're so damn alcoholic. Why don't you? I mean, I applaud it. I'm fine with it. I'm just, I'm here to support you, bro. What would you say was your highlight? Like, what was the best you've had? Gotta pick one. Gotta pick one.
Okay. Well, it's one that I've had before though, but I don't know. This was before we were doing the podcast, I think. So if I pick one, it's going to be the Abyss. I had it on draft back on 17th or 16th, 17th, something like that last week in Seattle. Well, and technically Mill Creek, Washington, north of Seattle. I had the 2017 Abyss on tap at a bar out there, and that's the highlight.
What kind of beer is the Abyss?
Well, you've had it. It's the Russian Imperial Stout, the 12%, something like that.
I've had it. I don't remember.
Oh, we sampled it. I bought that bottle. I bought the bottle at that craft beer store.
Oh, is that what it was?
Deschutes, the Abyss, yes.
Oh, yeah, that was some good stuff.
Yeah. So
they had it on tap, man. That's got to be nice.
It was on tap at this bar in Mill Creek, Washington. Fantastic. So yeah, I won't run through all 24, but I
do really quickly just want to interrupt you to say that according to Beer Menu, the liquor store just up the road has 2017 KBS on the shelf.
Hey-o.
Now, because I've been burned by Beer Menu before, I have just sent them a message on Facebook, and hopefully they respond, because tomorrow I will skip every meeting I have to go
I was going to say
on the shelf.
Yeah. I was going to say, you better get your Happy Little Ass down there tomorrow.
But then, that'll make like 4 podcasts we have to record while you're here in February.
Dude, sounds like a good problem.
I think that's a good Saturday.
That's right. Yeah. How was the Super Bowl? I don't fucking remember at this point. No clue. All right, keep going. Sorry.
All right. Well, let me give you a couple other highlights here. I had an Imperial Stout from Samuel Smith's old brewery. That's a European beer brewed in Yorkshire. Over in England. That was really, really good. I mean, I love stouts, and technically porters are stouts as well. The porter stout thing is just and Eric, I think you'll agree with me. Stouts and porters are the wheelhouse for my particular taste.
Mm-hmm.
It's Flavor Town.
Oh, it's so good.
It's everything.
I mean, I honestly, Eric, Chad can tell you that I really haven't liked porters or stouts up until probably the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started drinking them. And now I have at least a few a week.
Yeah, they're so good. So
I don't have a problem. Chad has a problem. I don't have a problem. I can drink as much as I want. I don't have a problem.
No one here has a problem, Adam.
Nope. My wife would think I do as much as I spend on beer lately, but other than that, we're good.
I'll save my comment for off air. So as we had just discovered a few weeks ago, Scotch ales. You really enjoyed the Scotch ale from the brewery in Evanston.
Yeah.
I had a Sheepshagger from Terranina. That was the Scotch Ale Wee Heavy. That was delicious.
That was a good one.
I'll skip over a few of these. Dudism, which I had that on the sessions, I think.
Yeah, I think you're drinking that at the sessions too.
Yeah, that was a 4.5. That was delicious. That's from Mobcraft. That's a stout. They consider that a white stout, which is along the same lines as Casper. Dudism was awesome. Let's see. I had Jumpin' Jack Black from Rockwood, Space Dust IPA from Elation out of Seattle. That's good stuff. I did have a drain pour this week.
You did?
Ooh.
I did.
Bum, bum, bum.
Well, and I got
a
another
fresh
one.
one.
I had another one I want to talk about here too. So I bought.
I might have to crack my second can of HopSlam because
all right,
really.
all right. I've only got one, so I'm
in a 10%. This could get interesting.
I'm taking my time here. So so I got three more I think just three more. Yeah, maybe four. Three, but I'll talk about them quick.
All right, you take it away. We'll just hang out here. Go ahead.
All right. So I had Boulevard Brewing collaboration number 7. Oak Age Lager. I thought was going to be phenomenal. Was not, in my opinion. It was just it tasted like a regular old lager to me. So I was disappointed with Boulevard's Oak Age Lager. Then I had a Anderson Valley G&T Goza. And the first time I had a Goza, I spit it out. This was last year. First time I ever had a Goza. Did not like it. I couldn't tell you who the brewery was, but it wasn't for me. I decided to go ahead and take a chance on this one at the store the other day. I gave it a 4.
Look at
on
him.
Untappd.
Wow.
So I've kind of gotten into these sour beers lately. And I know it's kind of it's probably the style that's coming in, and I hate to ride the bandwagon, but
well, it's good that you're getting to like them because if they're coming in style, it means we were gonna have to drink them more.
Yeah. So this one from Anderson Valley Brewing G&T Goza I thought it was delicious.
Where's that brewery from?
It's California.
Was that one you had out in Seattle or wherever? Or no, was that?
No. This was over the weekend when I was home.
Oh, okay.
It's a California brewery. I can't tell you exactly where it's at off the top of my head, but it's California.
All right.
Okay, so then my drain pour. This one was I was picking out a variety 6-pack, and I looked at it, and it's Coney Island Brewery, and I thought it's called Hard Cherry Cream Ale, and I was like, oh, that's like probably.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
Probably like a cherry cream soda, but it's classified as a beer, so I went ahead and bought it. I poured it in the glass, took one sip, and I felt like my insides were going to come out.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
It was horrible.
Like as you're going to puke, or was it the other way?
No, like I was going to puke.
Nice.
This was so other drain pours like Lagunitas. Did I say that right?
You did.
Yeah.
Good job.
Every
time you say it, I just want to say Lagunitas.
Lagunitas. I know. I have such a hard time with that. Lagunitas, they're hop stupid. I poured that out, but I still gave it, like a 1 or 2 or something like that on Untappd, which means nothing to me. Anything below 2.5 doesn't really mean anything. I gave this beer from Coney Island a 0.25.
Look at you.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Horrible. And the global rating on this thing is 3.22.
Oh.
That's crazy. Now, Coney Island, that's owned by Boston, isn't it? Boston Beer Company.
Yes. Terrible. It was like putting a cherry cream soda in my mouth when I was expecting a cherry ale.
I'm glad you finished that sentence. I was about to.
Hey, Just because I ate 2 wieners today at the same time.
There it is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you didn't have to say it for me. Good on you. Good job.
Hey, I'm working a trade show this week. I'll eat wieners all week.
All right. You just keep digging that hole, sir. Dig. Speaking of holes, is it my turn or are you still going?
No, I'm still going. Just for the
Okay.
record, I mean, and you're going to cut this out anyway. I mean, hot dogs.
I'm not going to cut this out. You know it's not good. You know it's
Cool.
going right in the front.
What?
What?
Hey, the front's good.
Lord have mercy. Just finished. My God. How much did you drink?
So
And then I had.
okay, so it's been a while since I've been on, so give me a break here. Okay, Lakefront Brewery, my turn, number 25, Kristen. I did not rate this beer very well at 2.75, but I got to talk about it because this one. Well, first of all, have either of you had this?
No,
I've
I've
not.
seen it, but I haven't had it.
Okay, so my turn, number 2. Okay, so Eric, are you familiar with Lakefront Brewery and how they do their My Turn series?
I'm not familiar with the My Turn series.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. So their employees are allowed to put in for a specific flavor or type of beer that they like, and then the brewery will then in turn figure out how to make it.
Sweet. So
this is a Weizenbach. It tastes,
And also, just so you know, Kristen is the executive chef.
yes, yeah, the executive chef for Lakefront Brewery. She wanted a beer that tasted like her breakfast. And that's exactly what it tastes like.
Interesting.
It tastes like bacon with maple syrup on it.
Yeah, and so in the description, I pulled it up online. In the description, it says pale wheat and caramely Munich malts call to mind golden brown waffles and a dash of smoked malt to suggest a side of bacon.
Right. So I didn't get any waffle flavor. It tasted like bacon 100%. I've never had a beer that tasted like this before. I won't drink it again. It's below my 3 threshold at 2.75, but it wasn't the best beer of my last week or two, but it was the most interesting at 2.75. Bacon with maple syrup is what that one tastes. Let's see. I had Larry's latest sour ale from Bell's.
I got to get more sours. I haven't had very many sours.
Yeah. Uinta. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It's Uinta. Uinta.
Sure.
Uinta Brewery.
Go
Yeah.
for it, Lagunitas.
All right. Uinta. They're out of Colorado, I think. This was a session vanilla porter. Very good. Flying Dog, I had their Gonzo Imperial Porter, which is really good. I gave that 3.75. And then last night I had a disgusting, although refreshing, Warsteiner Pilsner, German Pilsner. Fantastic at the end of a hot, sweaty day of setting up for a trade show, but typical run-of-the-mill Pilsner, just, good for refreshment.
Nice.
All right. That's it. That's the show, people. Thanks for listening. We're out.
Yeah.
Take up the whole show with it was 2 weeks. Okay, fine. I get it. I didn't really have anything interesting. I had Sam Adams Cold Snap, which I do like. I think it's a good winter-ish beer. And then the Boulevard Kolsch. The only reason I bought the 6-pack was so I could get a free Boulevard brewing glass. So
Hey,
that's good though.
Hey.
It's good. It's a really good beer. So I know you like Kolsch's.
I love
Chad.
Kolsch's.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those were,
My favorite summer beer.
besides like my normal Spotted Cow, that's really all I had between numerous amounts of Spotted Cow and then those two. So that was all I had. What are you gonna do? Are we halfway? Because I'm more than halfway right now.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. All right, so Eric, at the halfway point, what are you thinking? Are you still tasting the same taste? Anything changed to you as it kind of warms up? Any rating changes? Anything like that?
I think I'm going to move up to a 4. I don't think the flavor profile is changing. I'm just enjoying it more and more as I go down this beer.
Chad?
So I'm going to come down to a 4.
Look at him.
I love the balance of the beer, and this is kind of the same thing that happened with that the barley wine that we did a few weeks ago, or I did on the episode.
You did,
that
yeah.
We were doing two different beers. So that was also a Bell's, their Third Coast Old Ale. The flavor didn't change, but the bitterness got worse. So for me, at the halfway point, this beer has gotten a little bit more bitter, but the flavor's still good. So I don't like it bugs me when a beer changes on the scale of bitterness throughout. I mean, if the flavor stays the same, that's good. If the flavor changes, I might be able to deal with that. But if the bitterness, if it's a 70 IBU, even though it doesn't really taste like a 70 IBU, it kind of started out tasting like a 50 to 55, and now it's starting to come up a little bit. So I'm going to drop a quarter of a point to a 4.
And I think that change in bitterness has anything to do with the fact the beer's warming up.
Maybe. But I think, IPAs are typically better colder.
I would agree with
so,
that.
Yeah, as they warm up, I think this is probably proof in the pudding that as they warm up, they go down in value for me.
All right. So I'm not noticing the change. I mean, I'm not noticing. It's not getting more bitter to me. My ears are definitely getting warm, which I like. It's gonna make me crack a second one here in a second. But I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna hold at the 4 right now. It's still really good. I mean, I would definitely. Well, I'm going to here in just a minute. I'm gonna chug this, and then I'm going to crack another one that I have right over here. And the other one, when I brought it in here, I put it in a Yeti koozie thing just to make sure that it stayed cold. So, because I'm going to crack that one. So, but no, I think it's staying. To me, it's staying the same. It really hasn't changed. The profile hasn't changed really a lot. Still very drinkable. So yeah, that's where I'm. That's
what's kind of interesting is as I look at the Untapped rating, and I think we should talk a little bit about this, the Untapped scale.
Well, yeah. So I was going to ask first off, what is I didn't look it up. So what is Untapped's? What's the average score on Untapped right now?
Right. So since the beer was added to Untapped on January 3rd this year, 2018, 11,403 ratings. The average worldwide rating is 435. So it's got a very, very good rating.
It does. Now, since we're talking about ratings, I did mean to ask Eric, and we really hadn't. This is a good time because I hadn't really found a time to kind of pull it in there. But we've discussed, Chad and I, numerous times on the podcast how we rate, why we rate things the way we do. You know, if it's 2 or below, I'm never going to be seeing that beer again. Hopefully, that type of thing. What do you, in your mind? I mean, and again, all these ratings are very subjective, right? Everybody's palates, everybody's opinions. Your 2 could be my 3. Who really knows? So, right. but for you, and that's really how we've talked about. Like, I use Untapped for me. I really don't use it for anybody else. Like we even talked about it on the session episode where I use Untapped so I can go back and see. Oh, I had this before. Oh, I think it looks like I liked it, so I'll buy it again. Or oh crap, I didn't like that before. I don't know if I'll do that again. Or I'll just buy 1 can of it this time. Whatever. Right. How do you when you go to rate a beer? What's your thought process?
I mean, I'm definitely biased. The stouts and the porters typically are.
Correct my second. Go ahead.
The stouts and porters are typically the ones that get the higher ratings for me, but that's also my favorite style of beer. Right. But when I go through, I mean, if it's a 3.25 into the 4 range, it's definitely something I'm going to want to have as a regular weekly drink, or as I find it and can get it, I'll definitely purchase it. 4 and above, is definitely something I love. If it's higher than like a 4.25, I mean, I would even consider it something I'd wait in line for. And that's when we get into like the barrel aged stouts that are a limited release and I spend way too much in line for.
Now, do you think any of that, like I told the story on the podcast one time where I went to Russian River, stood in line to get in and had Pliny the Elder for the first time. And that was really,
I get it this weekend.
I know he's going to have some this weekend. I didn't even know what Pliny the Elder really was. I kind of learned about it when my coworker said, "Hey, we're going to go here." I wasn't all that into craft beer like I am now. I really wish I would have been, because I think I would have remembered it better, because I don't remember what it tasted like at this point to compare it to all these others. But we were talking about how I looked back and I rated it pretty high. And I was just wondering if maybe it's because, of the mystique of Pliny the Elder, and I stood in line for this, and I get into the tap room and, the environment that you're in. So
Sure.
What do you think about that? The environment you're in influencing, if you would have had this at the Bell's Brewery on launch day, would you rate it higher than sitting here on this podcast?
I mean, totally. The environment absolutely matters. And I think that's why you see people like Three Floyds that have in crazy lines for Dark Lord Day. I mean, this isn't even a barrel aged stout. Granted, they do have barrel aged variants, but people are waiting in line primarily for just Imperial Stout.
Yep.
And I think it's just the atmosphere of Dark Lord Day. I mean, while you're waiting in line, it's a bottle share. So you're meeting random people that have bottles from all over the country that you might not be able to get through distribution. So, I mean, I absolutely think the environment impacts how your drink is going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why when you look at Untapped, take it with a grain of salt.
Totally.
I will look at Chad's ratings, because I know what Chad's likes, what he likes, so I can kind of tell whether I would like it based off of him, because I know what he likes so well. Same with like Jake or Dan, but like looking up Billy Bob, 1245's beer likings isn't that going to be squat to me,
right? But it's nice to see what people are drinking, because it might cater to what you might want to try.
It might, yeah.
I always try to figure out where I try to drink the beer halfway before I figure out where I think I'm going to rate it. Before I put it on Untapped. You can't go into Untapped and rate a beer without seeing the national or worldwide rating. So it's kind of hard to put that out of your mind when you're going in to rate a beer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the there was a podcast just recently that talked about beer ratings and how the beer ratings are useless. I essentially agree with what the gentleman was saying, but he didn't really bring up the personalized part of rating a beer. I mean, it was if someone comes to a website like Untapped or Beer Advocate and looks at a beer and they say, "Oh, well, this beer just, for example's sake, we're drinking HopSlam tonight, 435. That's got to be a great beer." So if they are not, if they aren't I don't want to say a beer connoisseur, but having a beer like this, so say someone that's just drinking Miller Lite, Bud Light all the time, they go and have a HopSlam, go to Untapped, check it in. Oh man, 11,000 check-ins, 435. This is a good beer. I should probably check this in pretty high, right? So the 11,000 check-ins to get a 435 rating is meaningless. But what this gentleman didn't really talk about is that beer ratings are personalized. So Untapped, I kind of feel like he was not really slamming Untapped or Beer Advocate or whatever app or website you use. I think they're useful, but they're useful only in a personalized way. And that didn't come across. So I that's why I love Untapped for my own personal use. looking at the national or worldwide average for whatever beer it is you're drinking, yeah, that's probably not going to do me any good. But going back and looking at where I rated, so next year, January, February 2019, HopSlam comes out again. I rated it whatever I rated at. Did I like it? Yeah, I'll buy it again. Did I not? Yeah, maybe not. So I think these apps are totally worthwhile to figure out what you like as an individual, and not really, you just can't take into account what the worldwide average is for a beer.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with that. And I mean, even as you go through a craft beer store and you want to find something new, it's not bad to reference what you've had in the past. Be like, did I have this? Adam, I think it was you in episode 5 that realized at the end that you had Two Hearted, right?
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I didn't realize I had that.
I just listened to it again as I was driving through Tampa, St. Petersburg yesterday. And at the end, yeah, Adam's like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. Holy crap, I've had this.
I've had this before.
So this is a really good segue into this list here that we had on our thing to talk about tonight. So Untapped did release their 2017 beers. And I think this is actually the summer one, so I probably should go look for the actual right one. But they did release their 2017 beer list as far as what was on top. Did you guys see the story yet or no?
Yeah,
I have not. I haven't.
You haven't? Okay, good. Then
No.
you haven't. Then I'm gonna pull up the right one here. But what do you think was on top? This is just for 2017, Chad. This isn't like,
and this is
Not
check-in
for-
based, correct? Not rating.
most checked in. That's true. Yeah, most checked in.
Well, this will be interesting for me to hear. I have not seen this. Doing the work travel, I haven't had a chance to look at this. So,
What do you think? What's your guess?
most checked in.
Most checked in of 2017.
Well, I mean, I would pick one of the big ones. Obviously, I mean the multinationals. But I have a feeling I'm going to be wrong.
You are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The most checked in was Founders All Day IPA.
Wow.
Now this is the same as most craft. I'd have to actually go check that out if that's real or not. Bell's
they're technically not craft, at least according to the Brewers Association, because they have a 35% stake from San Miguel, I believe.
Founders.
Yeah.
Two Hearted. It was 2. Yingling was 3. New Belgium Voodoo Ranger.
That's actually kind of. I want to stop right there because Yingling is. Where do they fall in the top breweries? Number 4.
As far as what? How are you ranking that?
Total number of barrels produced.
Oh, I don't know. They're
Wasn't
up there.
Well, I mean, it's Budweiser, Bud Light, Coors, and I think Yingling was number 4. And they're still considered, which I think is cool. They're still considered an independent craft brew, but. So where did they fall?
They were what, number
3.
3? Yeah.
Number 3 is the top check-ins. Yeah.
Yeah. 176,391.
We won't talk about their political affiliation, but
yeah, let's not talk about it. Let's not bring politics into beer. Come on.
It's a good beer though.
Yeah. I'm trying to find this one article.
Was this is the list on Untapped, or was this publicized elsewhere?
This is what I was looking for.
Yeah, the website I've got is from Beer Street Journal.
Yeah, that's what I was pulling up. I have it on one computer, but not the other. So this is the one I was actually looking for. Yeah. So the most checked in craft beers, it's the same list I had before, huh? So yeah, Yingling was number 3 with 176,000 check-ins. Voodoo Ranger, Fat Tire number 5. I'm not a big Fat Tire fan.
Same.
Nope.
Yeah, Punk IPA, 60-minute IPA. What is that? Jai Lai? Is that how you say that? By Cigar.
I like.
Okay, sure. KBS was 9 and Stone Ripper was 10. So I don't know.
KBS is a surprise for me in the top 10. Being a limited release, being not completely nationally distributed. That's a surprise for me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's true. I didn't even think about the fact that it's limited release. That's that's a good showing.
Absolutely.
So of the top 10 was 1, 2, 3, 4 IPAs of the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Is Stone Ripper? What is Stone Ripper? Is that IPA? And Two Hearted is an American Pale Ale, right? So that's another one. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of them.
Stone Ripper is a pale ale.
Pale, so yeah, so 6 out of the 10 were pale ales. 5 out of 10 were IPAs. So
no surprise there, given it's the number 1 Great American Beer Fest entry.
I'm trying to see if we can find top rated beers on Untapped 2017. Not just checked in. But yeah, I mean, that's not really. So I guess the KBS is to me the only real surprise there of those.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I mean, having not had it yet, that's still a surprise.
Yeah,
because it's so hard. It's so hard to find.
It really is. It's. I mean, even in Chicago, it's tough. I mean, granted, who knew that I would find it in January, almost a year later. But
right, exactly.
Yeah.
It looks like if you go to top rated beers on Untapped, it's just untapped.com/beer/top_rated. I don't know how often this is up to, like, this overall, but the Proprietor's Bourbon County Brand Stout 2014.
So good.
is a 4.74. The 2010 Rare Bourbon County Brand Stout is a 4.74 as well. So I guess they're tied for first, huh?
Also so good.
2, 3, 4. The top 4 are all Goose Island Bourbon Counties. But I think this is all time.
It's all time, but what's funny is lately, so a few of those top 5, I see 2014 Vanilla Rye up there. Goose holds on to vintage beers, and they'll do events, and if you randomly go to an event that they have these at, they've been pouring these a lot lately. So it could just be recent check-ins as well, because I know in November when they had Proprietors Day for this year's release of Bourbon County, well, I guess 2017 release of Bourbon County, they had a special line to where they were tapping 2014 Vanilla Rye. And it was just unannounced. So, hey, why is there a line randomly in the middle of the street? Oh, they're tapping 2014 Vanilla Rye.
Chad, I think next year we're going to have to go down to Goose Island.
Okay.
I'm glad I had to talk you into that.
Hey, by the way, Eric, do you want to talk about what you do in the beer world?
Yeah,
we didn't really talk about that at the front of the show, but
yeah, and I mean, not many people. The sessions don't go out to everybody. That's just only on YouTube. So, so what we've talked about previously, mostly people listening probably haven't even heard. So,
no, yeah, I do a lot of photography for a blog called porchdrinking.com. And we're a national blog. We've got huge hubs in Chicago, Denver, obviously, California, Atlanta. And we're more than just that, but those are like the biggest hubs, and those are the biggest hubs for craft beer right now. I mean, Denver is booming, and that's where Great American Beer Fest is every single year. But it's a lot of fun. We're trying to promote everything that's within Chicago. And actually this year we're trying to even flex more outside of Chicago and do the suburbs. So I'm looking forward to get out of city limits and see what's in the Chicagoland area. That's Definitely. Our big plan for 2018. And I'm really excited, looking forward to it.
Well, hey, yeah, if you want to come up to Wisconsin.
Nope. Nobody wants to. I'm teasing. There's a lot of. I mean, come on. There's really good breweries in Wisconsin.
There's some good breweries up here.
We have talked about it. We've talked about Wisconsin and Michigan, actually.
That's really cool. This website's cool. Porchdrinking.com. It's a fun place to visit.
Now, I will say, and maybe since you know people, you can give them this word. But the audio of their podcast is just horrible. Like, I can't listen to their podcast because the audio is just so bad. I've listened to it a couple times, and I'm just like, I don't understand. But no, the site is great. The site is great. I know. I'm such a snob. I've been doing this podcasting for so long. Oh, God. Yeah. I'm a professional. I'm a professional. And as long as professional means I don't get paid for shit. So, yeah. Porchdrinking.com is really cool. I mean, I follow them on all the socials.
Thank you.
And see, I mean, I've been following them because I've seen you tweet them before, and then I followed along. So no, they got good stuff. I like them a lot. A couple other things we were going to talk about in this episode, and you guys can tell me when you're done with your beer, because I mean, I'm already on my number 2. So
yeah, I need to grab another number 2.
Well, after this one, because this one is more, you have more experience with this, but we were going to talk about the KBS release.
Yes.
2018. So KBS week in 2018 will kick off March 5th. And I guess this week or this year during this week, they're going to have kegs at some bars or shops in both Grand Rapids and Detroit. I guess that's a new thing. I guess it's usually only been in Grand Rapids.
It's been only in Grand Rapids because that's where that's where they are. But actually within 2017, they opened up a tap room in Detroit. So it will be hosting at their facility there as well.
Man, I think really, Chad, we should do a road trip.
I highly recommend it. Grand Rapids has a lot of really good beers, even if you're not even looking at Founders. And Bell's is in Comstock, which is a suburb of Grand Rapids. Yeah.
Yeah. Chad.
I'm totally down. I haven't been to Grand Rapids since I dated a chick in college from Holland, Michigan.
And they've got a ferry that goes across Lake Michigan. It takes you to Kalamazoo, which is not too far.
Yeah, but I've heard that's expensive as hell.
I wouldn't know. I've never taken it.
If you're taking a car, I guess it's expensive as hell. Yeah. So that is
not that bad. If you don't take a car, it's not that bad.
Yeah, if you take a car, though, I've heard it's a couple $100.
Yeah.
So that is the Founders Week, and we'll talk about that later.
It'll be in Chicago shortly after, in the area. I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
Good. And you say that now, but if I can't, who I'll be calling.
Right on.
Eric, let's meet at the Oasis or something, and we'll swap beers.
Right on. I'm in.
Now, the other one that I was interested in, because actually went online and looked at this today, but Carnival Cruise Line is actually having a cruise. They have a ship that has a brewery on the ship.
Guy Fieri.
Yeah, Guy Fieri, I know. And I heard there's another one. So there's Guy Fieri's one with this Pig and Anchor barbecue, but then there's another one that just has the brewery without the Guy Fieri, is what I heard on a different article. But yeah, Carnival Cruise has a new ship called Carnival Vista that has a brewery on it. I hope they don't use the seawater.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
Well, I'm sure they probably have desalination process.
Sure.
I bet they don't use the seawater. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it seems like these destination breweries are popping up. I read today that Ballast Point is going to open up near Disney.
Yeah, in Disneyland, right? That's what I had read that too.
Ballast Point.
Who owns them?
Constellation.
That's right. I looked it up today and I just couldn't remember because Oh yeah.
Well, and that's that beer I had. I drank. I don't remember what it was. A cherry wheat or something like that. A few weeks ago, it took me over an hour to drink it.
Oh yeah, your slow drink. You didn't want to pour it for whatever reason, but you definitely didn't care about drinking it slow as molasses.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe they have other good beers. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember if I've had a Ballast. I'm sure I have.
I think they've got a Sculpin, maybe.
Yeah, there's a Sculpin one.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, they're
a
I wish
few.
there was an app where you could track the beers you drink and then look up if you've had it or not. I wonder if there's one out there like that.
How about that? What a concept.
Maybe we should do that. I don't know.
one of their beers. One of their beers was in the top 25 list among the Home Brewers Association.
Wow.
Number 13 or something like that.
Did we already talk about that at some point? I don't remember.
Yes, we did.
Oh, I don't know. As soon as we're done doing a show, I just forget what we talked about.
Beer, what a concept.
Every night, every Wednesday after we record, the wife's like, "How'd the podcast go?" Good. What'd you guys talk about?
I don't know.
Beer.
I don't remember.
Well, I do remember my wife. So after like a couple of shows, she's like, "You guys really talk just about beer the whole time?" We do.
Pretty much.
And then this week she was finally like, "Hey, can I listen to one of your podcasts?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." How? Oh, jeez. Here we go. Give me your phone.
Tech support at home. Gotta love it.
Oh man, don't get me started. I had a lot of tech support issues this week. Here's one that I'm actually thinking about buying. Is this hop candy?
Oh, the lollipops.
It's the lollipops. How much was it on Amazon? I can't. I'm gonna look it up. $20. $20 for a dozen assorted hop candy lollipops. Does that sound good to either of you at all?
Wait, what?
I'm definitely intrigued.
I know, right? Yeah, it is hop flavored lollipops.
No.
Why not?
No.
Don't want some hops while you're at work in the middle of the day with no booze?
Nope.
Infusing a ginger ale hop tea.
If I'm going to eat hop flour, I want it to have some fermentation.
I respect that.
I don't know if I respect it, but okay, it's fine. If you're gonna be that way, fine. We won't talk about it. Then we'll just move on. You
No,
bitch.
talk about it all you want.
No. I wouldn't dare.
Okay, shut up, Adam.
Shut up, Chad. Where are you guys at with your burrs?
I've been done for a while, but I only have one, so I'm done.
Are you on?
Done
You're
as
on.
well.
You're on 2, Eric.
No, but I kind of want to go get one.
Fine, Eric. We'll distract everybody while you go get.
Great. Excuse me for a moment.
Another one.
So, wow, that was quite an exit.
I know. Yeah. Get ahead of me.
There's still something going on over there.
I think he had to beat somebody up. He's like kicking somebody's ass to get this beer out of their hand or something. He can hear us. He's got the AirPods on. He knows.
It's true, I do.
That was like a Batman exit.
Hey, you gotta keep it interesting.
Batman didn't have a beard either.
He was clean shaven.
That's true. That's true. Bruce Wayne was very, very well groomed.
Oh man.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I don't know what we're talking. We were talking about Bruce Wayne for a second. I don't know.
What's beer?
It's
All right. Well, let's go back to the basics here.
it's grains and hops and
I think there's some water. I think there's some water in it.
That's the part that makes it healthy. It's water.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
It's hydrating.
I'm getting my hydration. Chad, did you read this story about the Texas Brewer Group?
Nope.
Damn, I didn't either. Did you, Eric? All right, we're not going to talk about it then because I didn't read it all.
Hey, wait. So, did we talk about when KBS week is?
Was that?
Yep.
We actually mentioned what KBS week was.
That was when I said, "Hey, we need to go," and you're like, "Yeah, I'm down."
You said the date?
Okay. Hold on.
I believe it starts March 5th.
Yes, 5th through the 10th.
There.
I ask because I typically close out of a window when I know we've talked about something.
I read the headline. KBS Week 2018 will kick off March 5th.
And distribution will follow shortly after.
All right, moving on. I guess I don't listen to what Adam talks about.
Yeah. I don't think that surprises anybody. Son of a bitch. I don't know that we have much left to talk about, kids. Except for our final thoughts on this brew.
Yeah.
I will say that my second one is just as good as my first.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And I'm going to go to bed with a buzz tonight.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. Praise be to the kegs. Yeah.
So you can get this beer in 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, draft, or a 5-liter mini keg.
Bell's does love the mini kegs. I've had a few of theirs, of at least Oberon, but I've not had the HopSlam mini keg.
Exactly. I like the mini keg.
Hey, I'm not opposed.
Do we now? Actually, we should. Chad, why don't you keep the kids entertained here while I get something?
Well, I would kind of go back to where we were talking about putting this beer in a cellar.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's interesting if you look.
Do you have a cellar? Like you have a cellar?
I do.
You have a cellar?
I do.
I don't.
Like underground cellar?
Not an underground cellar. No. I certainly bought a wine fridge and I keep it at cellar temps for my beer, not for wine.
You don't have a cellar. You have a beer fridge. You have a wine fridge. Come on.
Yeah. Same thing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So if this beer can be refrigerated to 30, 31 degrees, is that better than the shelf life? Because obviously shelf life's warm. And the shelf life of this beer is only 3 months.
Yeah, with this style of beer, I would say fresh is best, in my opinion. And in my experience, I've had IPAs that have gone past 3 months and they just didn't have the flavor that I would want, or I did have when I first had it fresh. So for like this style of beer, I would say fresh is best.
Yeah, totally agree. I think even at a cold temperature, I mean, if Bell's says 3 months on the shelf life at a cold temperature, I probably would not enjoy this after even 4 months at 31 degrees.
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, then the brewer knows best, right? If they're telling us 3 months, then that's when they want you to drink it.
Yep.
There is a guy on YouTube that cellared. What was it? It was a HopSlam, but I can't remember what year it was. And he cracked it open and drank it. And if I find the link, I'll send it to you guys. We'll put it in the show notes if I can find the link. It's just funny because when you watch it, he pours it, puts it in the glass, and there's not a whole lot of head to it at this point because I think it was 2 years old. And he takes his first sip, and his initial face is like, "Huh, I'm like, yeah, what'd you think, dude?" Like,
did he have the Hulod face?
It was just like, if you expected it to taste like HopSlam, within a couple months of brewing, no, there's no way. It's just not going to taste that way. It was funny.
Right. Eric, before we move on, Eric, did you have the 2015 release of Dogfish Head's Hulod?
I have not had that. No.
Oh.
Have you heard of this one?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I've not been able to get it though.
I know. Well, from what I understand, at this point, we're 2 years later. It's any leftover stock is no good.
I'm sure.
But 658 IBUs.
650. That makes my mouth hurt.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, you've been around the beer industry for a while, so I didn't know if you've had it or not. But I text messaged my friend Mike earlier this week, who's bringing the Pliny, whatever, the Elder, however you say it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be having a Pliny on Sunday night. He's bringing that for me, but he's had the Hulod, which is named from the initial impression of the first sip. Hulod.
So right here, I have up on Beer Advocate the Hulod rating, a 3.63 out of 5.
Right,
but it's only 25 ratings if you see. But yeah,
it was very limited, and I can't imagine anybody finishing. I mean, I'm sure there's people that do finish it, but
yeah. So while the The average IPA is somewhere between 40 to 60 IBUs. This one is 658. That's
my
just, I don't know.
I know.
that-
I can't even imagine.
I
what
can't
it
even
tastes
imagine
like.
how bitter that would be. A 9.5 ABV black ale. I mean, that's just,
Yeah.
I think that'd have to hurt. I don't think that. I don't know how that would be
we
good.
We can't get a fresh sample these days, so that's kind of disappointing. But I was just curious if you've had it.
I've not. To switch gears real quick though, while you're in Florida, if being stouts and porters to your style, if you can get your hand on Hunapu by Cigar City, I will not only be incredibly jealous, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that because that is a beer that is nationally raved about.
I've heard of it. I actually heard of it last year when I was down here for the same show. Was not able to find it, but I'm here for another 4 or 5 days, so I will keep my eyes out, especially this weekend when I head over towards West Palm Beach.
Perfect.
There's probably a pretty good opportunity over there to find some of these what's the word?
Whales.
Whales.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'll look.
Hunapu. Is that what you said? Hunapu.
Hunapu Imperial Stout.
Yeah, that's so its availability is in the spring.
Yeah, it's usually, I want to say it's usually in March. So I guess 2018 is coming up.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It just says spring. So yeah, ABV of 11%. Yeah, American Double Imperial Stout. Nice. You have to
I'll be on the lookout.
Bring some home, Poogie.
Along with Yingling, right?
Look, you can leave the Yingling at the airport if you bring that home, because I've had Yingling before.
I would definitely switch those two out.
Yeah, I've had Yingling before. The other thing I was going to talk to you guys about, I messaged you this really at the end of the day, but have you guys heard of Hopsy?
Is that the sub?
Huh?
They make the sub, right?
Can you guys see my screen or no? I can't tell if it's showing or not, but it's just black.
I do not see it.
Yeah,
it's black right now. I've been able to see it before, but it's black now.
Yeah, for whatever reason it went black. But I might know why. Hopsy, it's basically, think of it as a Keurig, but for beer.
Ooh.
So
hold on.
Yeah. There we go. Now I got it back here.
Yeah,
now you can see it.
now.
There it is. So it's basically, essentially, really, it's Keurig for beer, and it's right now it's only available in San Francisco, because that's the only places they deliver to. But these beer canisters, they call them torpedoes. These little things right here, those are by craft brewers, so they're not by big guys. I'm trying to go to the beer menu here so you can see who. Yeah, so you can get these little torpedoes, put them in here, and then it basically comes out as a draft beer. I want to try this.
I've not heard of this one. I've heard of similar ones though. There's a brand called Physics, Fizzics, I believe.
Yeah, isn't the one you put like just the can of beer in or whatever?
Can, a growler. I think it can hold up to a growler.
So now
you spelled that out.
This, from what I understand, the actual, whatever you want to call it, the spout here, basically, it does it just like a regular keg would do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's supposed to be pretty much draft beer on a very small scale. Unlike the Physics one, which is really just kind of
creating your bottled or can into a draft.
Right. So I haven't seen one. I got on their list to be notified when it came to like our area, but like there's Drake's right here. I went to Drake's when I was in California. They got a cool little place. The drinking area they have is in their barrel room, so you're surrounded by all these barrels. And they had like live bands and food trucks, and it was a really cool place. But it's all these different craft brewers in that area. So I imagine when they come to like your area, like a Chicago or whatever, I would hope that they would use Chicago brewers.
That'd be nice.
But then you pay, basically you can do a subscription plan to where you get these sent to you on a regular, monthly basis, or you just order them. In San Francisco, they'll actually deliver them, and they actually have a store in one of the cities around San Francisco where you can actually go drop off like the empty torpedoes and then get full ones again or shop for different ones. So I like the idea myself.
I mean, draft beer is best beer, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's
Totally agree.
what is it, $149 for just the machine itself.
Mhm.
$179 gets you 2 torpedoes plus the machine. $199 gets you 4, I guess. I don't know. But I like that. Hopefully they come to Chicago sometime before I die. Here, this is the list I was looking for. Here's the list of the breweries. Southern Tier's on there. Definitely recognize them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Trying to see if I recognize any of these other guys. AleSmith. Amagang is up there.
That'd be cool to go to Amagang in the summertime.
That would, I mean,
like in the summer months when they have like 40,000 people going through their brewery.
Well, I thought these were just California breweries, but Amagang's New York, so
yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I guess not. Yeah, but so yeah, Amagang. That I would love to go to Amagang. We have channel list is growing in breweries we got to go to. So. if we don't start on this soon, it's never going to happen. We're going to die.
Along with the growing list of breweries is the growing budget of the Bearded Hops podcast. So,
damn it, we need a sponsor.
The data fund, I'm telling you.
What'd you say, Eric?
The data fund.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I don't know how I'm going to pay for this podcast that I'm doing right now.
You just can't drink 24 beers next week.
It wasn't in 1 week.
Sure. Likely story.
Although that sounds really good, actually.
Sounds like a damn good week of 24 beers in 1 week.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, so Chad, what are you rating this at the end?
I'm going to stick with my 4. This was a really good one. Impressed with the good balance of malt and honey and hops. It wasn't. I mean, the bitterness got a little bit worse along the way for me, but not worse in a bad way. It got a little bit more bitter, but totally fine for a double IPA. I'll stick with a 4.
Now, what would you say? What do you think your average IPA rating is for you?
Below 4. Below 4. I mean, I've got one that's a 4.7. The green 19 is a 4.75. Which if I would go back and re-rate it, I'd probably shoot it up to a 5. But Untap takes a average of your check-in scores.
Now, is the green 19 really a 5 because of because of the flavor or because of the Packers? I mean,
the flavor. No, I mean,
okay. I just want honesty and integrity in the show. Honestly,
I do like the taste of Titletown's Green 19 IPA. It's not. I mean, I liked it enough to put it on my license plate.
Now, what would you say though? So, give me a comparison. When you compare the HopSlam to the Green 19, what makes the Green 19 better as far as flavor wise, like for you?
I think the Green 19 is just because it's more sessionable. There's no way. I mean, a 10% double IPA, I can't. I mean, I can have one of these and I'm good.
I'm on 2, bitch.
I would be 2, but I only brought 1.
I mean, I don't know about you, but to me, a 10 is perfectly sessionable. Perfectly sessionable. If I wanted something, I mean, I feel like drinking like a 4 below is like I might as well just have water at that point.
Well, you're delusional, but
I never said I wasn't.
A 10% double IPA is really, really good. But when I can't drink, well, I won't say can't. I mean, obviously I could drink another one. You guys are right now.
Mm-hmm.
I could spend an entire say, a football game, drinking a Green 19, Green 19 after Green 19 after Green 19. And I like the flavor, and it's a good balance of flavor and ABV. So that's kind of where I judge my IPAs against is that one, because I know I can drink it. I mean, I could drink the Green 19 all day long.
Yeah, Green 19 is a 6.4 ABV.
Yeah. So if I drank 3 HopSlams, I mean, I would go to bed.
Sounds like a good night to me.
I'd say so.
I think I hear a challenge.
Challenge accepted.
No, it's very, very good. I'm happy with a 4 rating, and that's really good for me because
no, it is.
I as I've talked about on the show, on the podcast before, anything below a 3 just means I'm not going to buy it again. Anything up between a 3 and a 4 means it was really good. I enjoyed it. I would certainly buy it again. 4 and above means it was something special. So at a 4 means this was an exceptional IPA for me.
Eric?
I'm sticking with my 4. I think it's perfect right there. It's very well balanced with the hops and the dollop of honey, as they say on their website.
Yeah, good word.
Do I sound professional saying that? No, I think this year is better than last year, in my opinion. I think they really knocked it out of the park this year.
Yummy.
Good stuff.
Yummy.
Adam?
Now, are you an IPA guy, Eric? Or, I mean, I know you like porters and stouts. You've already said that. I'm just saying, like other IPAs,
I definitely enjoy IPAs. There are a few releases in Chicago of IPAs that I definitely have to get every single year. Half Acre has a few. It's funny. When I drink a lot of stouts, I actually use IPAs as a palate cleanser.
That's a good point. If you can get between stouts, if you can get a sample pour of any IPA,
it's the best.
The next stout's going to taste so much better.
I was at a stout fest. Goose Island usually holds a stout fest with tons of breweries, and it's just stouts. And last year they didn't host it just because their brewery on Clybourne was under renovations. I'm assuming it's going to resume this year, but we'll find out come March. But I mean, 30, 40 different breweries, all stouts. We go through. One brewery had a 12-pack of IPAs with them, and I had one. And I was like, this is the best thing on earth because it's cleansing my palate of all of these stouts. Thank you for bringing this. No, I like IPAs. I think they're really good beers. They're great to have, especially in summer for me.
Mm-hmm. They're great for drinking on a boat.
Oh, completely agree with that.
I'm on a boat.
But they're not my favorite style. But there's nothing wrong with them. I definitely enjoy good IPAs. I seek really good ones out. Like I said, Half Acre's got a few releases that I have to get every single year. It's a great style of beer. It's the most popular.
Now you're the higher. Are you a higher IBU, the better guy, or middle of the road?
Middle of the road for sure. Higher bitterness is a lot to handle.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think because I went to Tighthead Brewery and they had one. I went, looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's an IPA. I know what to expect. And I drank it. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I like this. And it's because it was about a 70 IBU, and then I had one that was a little bit less. And I like that even more. So yeah, I'm about the same way. I am going to give it a 4. Stay with my 4. Obviously, I'm having a second one here, so
damn,
it's good. And when I just checked mine in on Untapped, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4 badges. Look at that. Apparently, it's my Untapped anniversary.
Hey, look at that.
And they didn't get me anything but a damn badge. Why don't they give me something like lingerie or something? But
apparently, according to my badges, I believe in IPA.
I got the Sky's the Limit badge with the high ABV. I got there you go, for the can. The can badge.
Yep. National Can Day.
And then a 2 times level 2, a double when a double isn't enough. Look at that. So what is your Untapped ID or whatever? Where can people find you on Untapped, Twitter, all that stuff, Eric?
People can find me at Dirksen, Dirksen with an E at the end, so EDIRKSEN.
Is that Untapped Twitter everywhere?
Definitely Untapped. Twitter is Eric D. Dirksen, and Instagram, if you want to follow along with some porch drinking posts, will be Paucity, PAUCITY.
Sweet. Thank you so much for joining us. Chad, where can everybody find Bearded Hops? Because I'm of no mind right now to get that information out.
Bearded Hops is all over the place. Eric, thanks for joining us tonight. Have you enjoyed having you? The Sessions podcast a couple weeks ago was fun too. So
yeah, if you haven't checked out
me.
If you haven't checked out the Sessions number 2. Sessions is like a series that we do where we just kind of get on the internet, start talking, drinking beer. Eric joined us along with Jake, and that's only on our YouTube. So,
yeah.
Thanks so much for having me. Seriously.
Good deal. Yeah, YouTube specialty. Bearded Hops can be found on Twitter at Bearded Hops. You can find us at our webpage, beardedhops.com. Untapped. I am. What? You're gone, dude.
2% beers.
It's so funny. I'm usually the one doing this, and just hearing him, I'm like, that's exactly how I sound every time. We're at what's our website? Oh yeah, we're Bearded Hops. What are we called?
Beardedhops.com. It's bearded with like beer, not beard. Beardedhops.com.
You can get to it either way, though.
Yeah, you can get to it either way. On Untapped, I am Chadillac 907.
Like the car.
Because he doesn't like the car.
Like the car, but I don't like Cadillacs.
You can tell Eric listened to the podcast. He knows exactly what you're gonna say. Like the car, but I don't like the car.
Like the car, but I don't like Cadillacs. I just love the name Chadillac. Chadillac 907. You can reach me via email, chad@beardedhops.com. You can send Adam an email at adam@beardedhops.com. Positive comments always go to Adam. Negative ones always come to me.
I'm Tall Dog Beard.
Facebook, we're Bearded Hops Podcast on Facebook. Join us there.
Just go to beardedhops.com, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see the links for everything where you can find us on iTunes.
Wait, what? That's all I had to say?
Yes, it is. But I really enjoyed having you say it also. Go to beardedhops.com, scroll down to the bottom. You'll see all the links to everything. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, all that good stuff. All your favorite podcast apps. It's all right there. You can also find us SoundCloud. If you go to the website, you can also listen to them there. You'll find the links to YouTube where you can see the sessions where we did, I think it was 17 burps in the Sessions 2 episode. So good job, guys.
Yeah,
it was a very nice time.
On iTunes, if you guys listen to us on iTunes, give us a review.
Yes,
we'd love to hear about it.
That would be nice too. That'd be very nice. And if you told everybody, your mom, your grandma, maybe she doesn't like beer, it doesn't matter. Grab. What you should really do. This is what I did this week. Grab your friends, your wife's cousin's mother's girlfriend, whatever. Grab their iPhone, go to the podcast app, and just subscribe to the Bearded Hop podcast for them. They don't need to know. It's not a big deal.
They should know.
They'll find out when it says
they should know.
Bearded Hops podcast is available.
Yeah, it'll pop up. So, but thanks everybody for joining us. Next week, Chad will be back in the frozen tundra, and we'll have a proper microphone.
Yes,
won't be in a hotel. That'll be good. And then, will that be our next recording, or will our next recording be when you're here?
No, we'll try to do it next week. I think before I come down.
And then we're gonna have 3 at minimum, I think, recordings of where we're actually sitting side by side.
Oh man, we're gonna have some good shit.
We can reach out and touch each other. Fondling.
It'll be just like college.
So much fondling going on while drinking beer. So that'll be a good time. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. And we will see you all next time.
Woo! Later, everybody.
Take care.
Oh, Lois, thank God it's you. The last 3 houses I went to were very rude.
Have you been drinking?
Why, yes, I have. Thank you. I gotta find one of those silver scrolls. Everyone's looking for them.
Why do you care so much about touring a stupid brewery?
Lois, everyone has their sanctuary. The Catholics have churches, fat people have Wisconsin, and I have the Pawtucket Brewery.